What's up, guys? Matt Fragger back again. Got another fragrance review video for you. Well, actually, it's not a fragrance review. I can't say that. I'm not qualified to to give you a good review on this fragrance yet because I just picked it up a couple days ago. Only worn it once. And I also can't call this a first impressions video because I've smelled this fragrance on a sample card. I've smelled it out of a decant. Um, Again, like I said, I wore it once since I've got it. But what I do want to do is just give you my impression of it so far since I've picked up the bottle, and overall what I think of the fragrance. Is it worth the hype? Short answer is yes, it's definitely worth the hype. It definitely deserves the hype. Um, I didn't realize until I decided to pull the trigger on this fragrance. And by the way, I know I haven't said it yet. This is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. Um, I didn't know until I decided I wanted to pull the trigger on this fragrance and purchase it, which is, first of all, is ridiculous because it's summertime. It's June. We're just going into June here. It's not exactly the time that you would be buying what I feel to be, and what a lot of people have touted it to be, a cooler weather fragrance. But I've wanted this one for a while. I know I'm a little late to the party on it. There's a lot of fucking hype going on around this thing, and it wasn't until I decided to pull the trigger on it though and pick this up that I found out that it's and the limited availability on discounters for this fragrance. I only found one on fragrancebuy.ca. They had a 75 ml bottle for $94. And I didn't want a 75 ml. I wanted the 125. If I was going to get it, I wanted to go ahead and get the bigger one. So I found this on Facebook Marketplace. Not a fragrance page like I have frequented before, and I have done swaps and sold and bought fragrances on the fragrance pages, but this was just Facebook Marketplace. It was a local seller, person who lives in Zanesville where I live. So in the fragrance, in the ad, she describes the fragrance as being too strong for her, what I believe to be like 12, 13-year-old son. She bought it for her son. She said it was too strong for him. In the description in the ad, it was too strong for him. And when I did meet up with her and buy this fragrance from her, I did meet her son, and I definitely feel like this could be something that's a little much for a young man his age. So yeah, I can kind of get that, but yeah, and then it is a strong fragrance, though. I mean, it is a strong fragrance. There's no question of that. Performance on this one is not an issue. Great performance on this. I've only worn it once, technically, worn it once, at least out of this bottle. I've worn it out of a sample before, out of a decant before, and yeah, the performance is great. Scent profile on this is just absolutely fantastic, in my opinion, as is the opinion of several others. I mean, when you look through the reviews on this thing, it's always best of the year, or one of the best fragrances ever, stuff like that. I feel like it definitely deserves all the hype that it gets, though. It is a absolute banger, wonderful fragrance. It smells so good. Um, I will come back and do a review on the fragrance, even though it's been done to death. Just about every reviewer that I watch has done a review of this fragrance at some point. Um, but I will do a full review. But I'll wear it a good few times and really get a good idea of the fragrance before I do a full review on it. Just wanted to, first of all, just share the fact with you guys that I do believe that the hype is real. I do believe that it deserves all the accolades that it receives. Great fragrance from Jean Paul Gaultier. I definitely get the Le Male, like that Le Male DNA in here, and then and then some, you know, and then just so much more wonderful things going on in this. It's alluring, it's captivating, it's sexy. Um, yeah, I do agree that it probably is not the best fragrance for a young man that age to be wearing. I agree with that, and I understand that. But I also feel like even somebody who is like, I hate to, I don't want to throw around derogatory terms here or anything, but you know, niche snob, I guess you could say. Like, you know, some people, and that's again, that's not to be derogatory. It's just some people's level of where they are in their perfume journey. They've reached a level where they're only satisfied with a certain level of fragrance quality, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly cool. Um, but I feel like this is one of those fragrances that even somebody who typically enjoys and collects higher end fragrances could definitely get down with and enjoy, and you know what I mean, not have too many bad things to say about. Definitely, I would consider this a high end designer fragrance, like on the high end of designer fragrances. Really good, and the bottle, the presentation on this thing. I mean, yeah, it's probably one of the cooler bottles I've ever seen in a fragrance. Like it's a great bottle. The Lamal bottles are pretty cool anyway. You know, I personally I think that the torso thing is pretty neat, um, and I do like it. But they've just taken it to another level with this. Like it's yeah, it's just great. Um, really can't say enough about the fragrance. You know, just even though, like I said, I've only really worn it a few times altogether. But as a fragrance, as far as the smell goes, it's absolutely wonderful. As far as the presentation goes, stunning, spectacular, fantastic. You know, whatever, insert your adjective. But and I do think it's kind of cool that the pull ring on this one is much bigger than you typically would get on a JPG. They're little smaller rings. I like the big pull ring on this. That is a pretty cool touch, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts about it. I just picked this up and just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on it. I'll come back and do a full review on it, even though, you know, I don't know that anybody at this point really needs a full review on this one, to be honest, because there's so many out there. Mine's probably just going to end up falling to the end of the line of the however many others there are of this fragrance, but I am going to do a full review on this, and I'm sure it's going to be a glowing review of this fragrance because I can already tell you this thing's now going to be one of my favorites on my collection. It's great. So I'm the Mad Fragger. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you next time.